So this game, I think, Texans Colts, I think this game could be a preview for the this could be a playoff preview, right? And we just talked about it. Now that I have the Colts beating the Packers, because without Jordan Love, the Packers are not beating the Colts. Just point blank, they're not. I'm in on the Colts. So the Colts now, if they win that game, I'll have them as a 10-win team, which means they are a playoff team. They were almost a playoff team with Gardner Minshew, and I think Richardson is better. The thing about Richardson is he clearly looked rusty. He didn't look great, but you can tell the potential is there. 3 big plays. He had the big touchdown run, and then he had the 2 big passes. There's a 54-yard touchdown pass to Ashton Doolin, and then there was like a 56-yarder to Alec Pierce, who had a great game. 3 huge plays, momentum-shifting plays. Take away those 2 passes, and Anthony Richardson was under 100 yards. The rest of he had like 20 pass attempts for like 90 yards, and then those 2 big ones for like 110. 200 yards total passing, and then the big touchdown run, but he's physical, he's got the traits, he's got the athleticism. I think he needs to get polished, but he's a playmaker. He's a real playmaker, even more so than guys like Burrow and Justin Herbert, who I think are great, but Burrow and Herbert are a lot more polished. I think if Richardson polishes his game up, he could be right there with the Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson category of like polished and makes the big plays. Look at that. That was a big boy throw. That was maybe the best throw I saw all weekend, and I saw some good ones. So Anthony Richardson, I'm in on him. I think he will improve drastically as the season goes on, assuming he can stay healthy. I'm also in on the Texans though, and I think again, the Colts are a great team. Unfortunately, the Texans are better. Right now, the Texans are better. CJ Stroud is better. CJ Stroud right now is if anyone's going to take down Mahomes this year, I think it will be him. And I know it's only his second season, but we've seen second-year quarterbacks do very well. Purdy in year 2 in the Super Bowl. Joe Burrow year 2 in the Super Bowl. Russell Wilson year 2 won the Super Bowl. Cam Newton, I think he got there year 4. Lamar Jackson, year 2, MVP. Right? So we've seen some good quarterbacks really break out in year 2, and I think if anybody gets past Mahomes, it will be CJ Stroud. He looks really good. He looks comfortable. Stephon Diggs adds yet another weapon, and I love Nico Collins. I love Tank Dell. Joe Mixon rushing for 150 yards. I mean, that offense looks unstoppable. I think the Colts defense is a lot better. The Colts defense allowed 29 points, and I honestly was impressed by that. Because I think the Texans might have a top 4 or 5 offense in the league. And so the fact that the Colts held them to 29 spoke volumes to me. I think next week against Green Bay, don't be surprised if the Colts blow them out. Because I have real questions about Green Bay's defense. And without Malik Willis, I don't know if Green Bay scores a touchdown. Watch the Colts. I think that could be a 25-6. The Colts might drop 30 on the Packers, and they might not allow 10. If the Packers do score, it'll be because of Josh Jacobs. I'll say that much. Or it'll be because Richardson throws a pick 6. That's how the Packers could score. And maybe Jair Alexander gets him on a pick 6. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Colts blow out Green Bay. And I wouldn't be surprised if for the rest of the year, this is a divisional battle to watch. The Texans could run away with it and win 12 or 13 games. I wouldn't be surprised. But if the Texans leave the door open, there's going to be another matchup between these two teams later on. If the Texans leave the door open and Richardson continues to get better, look out. Because this Colts team, they lost by 4, I believe. They lost by 4 to the Texans in the last week of the season, which was effectively the AFC South Championship game because they were tied. And the Texans won by 4 against Minshew. And I think Anthony Richardson elevates that offense way more than Minshew did. And I'm a Minshew guy, but I'm all in on Richardson.